Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing something that I love doing every time I get a new golf club, and today I have 14 new golf clubs to do it with. I have played some rounds of golf that I've just never played this good, so it's super cool. But one thing that I need to know is how far these clubs go, because they are different. They're not quite as bladey, so they go a little bit farther. I'm probably gonna hit 10 to 12 balls with each club. I'm gonna make sure I hit them well. Like I wanna hit 10 to 12 really like high quality golf shots so that I know how far, you know, a well struck pitching wedge goes or whatever it is. I'm at the office now and we're gonna go set the simulator up and then we're gonna get rocking. So I'm locked in. I warmed up a little bit. I wanted to make sure that my body's nice and loose before I do this. And I'm getting a freshie. I'm getting a fresh egg for this. Okay, I'm hitting the Titleist Pro V1X. If you remember in the fitting, I needed more spin and I needed a higher launch angle, and that's why I got fit into the Pro VX. And this is the higher spinning golf ball now. Seeing spin with a driver is weird for me because I used to try to have like the least spin as possible, but I was educated and I realized that spin is your friend. So especially when you have high swing speeds. So I'm gonna start at the top of the bag, 60 degree, and go all the way to my driver. I'm gonna hit 10 shots, and I'm also gonna be screen recording, so you guys are gonna see, you're gonna be able to see this live action. Also, don't judge my little computer setup. I'm still moving in here. I'm not so concerned about left and right as I am just like, do I make good contact and how far it goes, and it's gonna give me an average. All right, so 60 degree is done. I know this may not seem very far for a 60 degree. I could obviously hit it farther, but these are just all smoothies, and average is 83 yards. It's actually a little bit less than I was expecting, but it's not that big a deal. They were all within like four yards, maybe 4 to 5 yards. All right, 54, here we go. I've hit this club so many times that I feel like I know how far it goes, but I still gotta do the average. I don't need to hit any more with that. I hit those so good. All right, so 109. Obviously, a lot of people are gonna look at this and be like, holy crap, that's a pretty big gap. I actually don't know what to think about that. I might ask Bango about that. I don't think it's a huge problem. Yeah, I'm just gonna set that aside for now. The carry is 109.2. The deviation between everything is plus or minus 2.1 yards. So that's actually really good. Like it's a really tight, I'm hitting those all in a really tight bubble. So that's the 54 degree at 109 yards. I'm gonna save all this information on my phone so that when I go to the golf course, and I continue to do this over time, but like I'll be able to go to the golf course and I'll know exactly what club to hit where. And there's no guessing. And then I have this little matrix for myself where I don't change the speed at which I'm swinging, but every 1 inch that I choke down on the club is 5 yards. So that is also like some of those filler numbers for me. All right, moving on to 50 degree. This has 8 degrees of bounce and is the F grind. Very good club here. I think this is probably gonna be about 120. Also, guys, huge shout out to Bad Birdie. I have a collection that is gonna be dropping February 11th. So stay tuned for this. This hoodie is a part of it. Also, one thing that I love about it, it's a golf hoodie and there's no strings, right? Look at that, there's no strings. So it's not like flopping down in there, which I think is really, really neat. Really cool stuff there. Stay tuned for that. This hat will be a part of that drop too. Honestly, I wear this all the time. I absolutely love it. All right, 50 degree here. All right, for the 50 degree, 123 yards, 14 yard gap probably. I feel like 15 yards is actually really good. I think that's what I'm gonna see with a lot of my other clubs. So now moving on to a pitching wedge. Many of you guys probably remember, I'm actually hitting the 46 degree, this SM10, and it's the F grind as well. It's a little weird for me hitting an actual wedge that's part of a set, but Mr. Vokey himself told me that originally wedges came as a separate part of the set. It wasn't always common for there to be a pitching wedge in a set. It usually went to 9-iron. This should be about 139, according to my calculations. I hit all those really good. Guys, that's pitching wedge, 136.8 yards. I feel like that gapping with the 54, 50 and pitching wedge is really good. 60, like I said, I think that's totally fine with a 60. Moving on to the 9-iron, which this probably, I mean, if this is adding up, it's gonna be around 150. At least that's what I hope it is. All right, that's it with the 9-iron. Like I said, 151. That's exactly what I wanted it to be. I think probably we're gonna see some differences when we kind of get toward the bottom of the set, because that's where I've had a little more like bladey club, but these are not quite as blades. They're T100s, but I freaking love them. That's one thing I love about this club or these clubs and this ball is I thought that I would have hit that 10 yards longer because I pulled it. Obviously I pulled it, it's 21 feet left, but it still only carried 171, which is huge. That's the 8-iron, 169.1 yards, right around kind of what I was expecting. And now on to the 7-iron, should be 83, 84. That's the exact type of golf shot that I want to repeat every day on the golf course. That is beautiful. Just as I suspected, 7-iron is 183 yards. Moving on to 6-iron, still in the T100s, and we don't change until the 4-iron. It's T150, but the yardage gaps I really like them. They're actually pretty similar as far as distance-wise, but if you look at my dispersion, I've hit so many shots that just are almost dead straight. All right, conclude 6-iron, 196 yards. I feel like I hit them all pretty well too, so I think that's pretty accurate. That's a 13-yard gap between the 5 and the 6, or the, yeah, 6 and 7. Now we're on to 5-iron. That's a lot. 10 with each club, and I've hit, I'm like 90 balls in. That is just a beautiful golf shot. That is so freaking good. That right there concludes the 5-iron. That was not quite as much as I was expecting. There's only about 11-yard difference there, and I hit quite a few of those. But that is the average for the 5-iron, 207 carry. Now on to the 4-iron, T150. Beautiful club here. We actually went to the T150 because the T100 wasn't going high enough. The peak height of it was like maybe 85 feet. What we want with all of my irons, all of my clubs in general, is about 110 feet. So we needed to get that up a little bit so I could stop it on the green. That concludes the 4-iron. That was really good. I feel really good about that one. I hit a lot of really like center punch shots there, 224 yards on average. Moving to the hybrid. Our goal with this club was like high 230s, coming in really steep. It needed to cover the gap between my 2-iron and my 4-iron is really like the whole goal behind this. And I like it because I have never hit a hybrid since I was in college, I think. So this is a 4 hybrid, 21 degrees, TSR3 with the Ventus 9TX. So stiff boy on there. Like that right there is the dream, to be able to see 114 feet in the air, 241 yards. That is not gonna roll out much on hardly any green unless it's a rock. It makes me mad, but it just happens. As the clubs get longer, the dispersion gets bigger, and I want to be perfect. I'm kidding, I don't want to be perfect. That's a lot, that's too much pressure. Obviously from 250 yards, you don't necessarily need to have the tightest dispersion. You just need to know where it's going. All right, that concludes the hybrid. Just a really nifty little golf club. 245 yards in the air. And honestly, I feel really good about it. That's such a good rescue club, and that's a number that I have a lot. And I've always struggled with it in the past because I can't fly a 4-iron, 240 yards. Maybe if I absolutely yak on one, it's coming in really steep, so it's gonna stop. On to the 3-wood. Whenever I think of this club now, I think about that second shot on hole number 7 at Palm Beach National from 270 yards, and it was like 10 feet after that. It was amazing. If I could just repeat that, I'd probably be on tour. That is a great golf club. Average 268 in the air, which it holds true to what I believed it was gonna be. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 of those maybe it looks. All right, 2-piece. This is I actually don't use this club as much as I used to, which is kind of nice because we got a cover for it. I just don't need it as much as I used to need a 2-iron. This is usually around 250 carry, but it's like this club is meant to go low and roll out. Not a club that I use a ton, but it's more about there's very specific golf courses that I'll need this on. Really easy club to hit, to be honest. Not much more I need to say about that. That one, I hit it really, really good. And 252 is the average carry. 245 for the hybrid, but that hybrid is like, it's coming in like a freaking pitching wedge. So, like I said, not as big of a place for that in my bag as it used to be, but it's so good, and I hit it straight, and it goes exactly how far I want it to go. Moving on to the big stick, folks. GT3, you guys seen it, 10 degrees of loft with the TR7X blue in the Fujikura. It's dangerous. This driver does spin a little bit more than my last one, but like we said, that's exactly what I wanted. With speed, spin is your friend. Guys, that's the driver, GT3. It feels pretty automatic, and I've had this thing on a golf course multiple times now. And that's where the real test is for me, and I've actually been able to convert it, which is incredible. I played some really good golf in the last couple weeks since I've had these in the bag. And right there on the screen, right over here, Michael has them all up. And you can see all the averages. Those probably will vary a little bit, but overall, that's probably not gonna change a ton this year. I don't really wanna hit my irons farther. If I did, obviously, I could just bend them strong, but I want the spin, like, that was a big thing that we focused on during the fitting was spin, spin, spin. And I want the spin to be right where it is. And I don't need to hit irons far, I just need to know how far they go. So guys, that's how far I hit my Titleist clubs from the top to the bottom. I freaking love it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for a lot of really cool stuff coming from this year. Competition, matches, just all of the stuff. So love you guys, thanks for subscribing, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.